Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 133. Good evening to my co-host, Morgan Harfeld. How are you, Morgan?
Matt. How you going, brother? You well?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. I'm not bad. Did you get out this week at all?
Of course I did, mate. Of course I did. I got plenty of rounds in on the old disc golf on the phone. I got one round in at the Gardens today, and of course I went to Ohau at the weekend with lovely. The boys. Bit of a team trip up there to do some planning for Waihi Tapu coming up at the end of November. So, yeah, pretty productive week out on the course.
Did I see you sharing some hole maps or proposed hole ideas that you had earlier on?
Yep. So we've done the new courses. We've done an A and a BT, A and BT courses. So ATs. Sorry, mate, it's getting late. It's a long day. The ATs are going to be for MPO, FPO, MA1, and MP40, and the rest of the field will be playing off we'll call it the BTs. A number of those tees are actually the same with a longer par, because they are pretty tricky holes, some of them. And then there are some actual BTs for the course as well, about 3 or 4 of them, I believe, just off the top of my head. But I did share the images, just the screenshots of the maps that I've taken. But if anyone wants to see them, head over to UDisc, the app, search Waitaha Ara or Ohau, and you'll be able to search the courses there. They're labelled Waihi Tapu 2023 and Waihi Tapu 2023 BTs.
Oh, fantastic. So you've already got them all loaded, ready to go.
Yeah, they're on there, ready to go.
Fantastic. And right, so you've got plenty of rounds in. I myself got out quite a bit this week. Actually, it's been lovely here in Wellington. I don't know if the if the weather's been as good down by you. We really had one day of sort of disappointing weather. The rest of it's been lovely. So last week we played Hosker's the monthly round at Petone.
With reverse mulligans?
With reverse mulligans, yes, that was great fun. I have to say, I really enjoyed it, and it was fantastic to play a round where someone makes a really good putt from like middle of circle 2, and you say,
"Go again, sir.
Good work, bro. Have another go." And of course they miss. And so it was very good. And I mentioned last week that I felt that my game would suit reverse mulligans. If you remember. Did it? And it did. I actually won the division with a 2 under par. So yeah, it's consistency and not doing anything too flash actually worked out in my favor for once. Maybe I should. Maybe we should. Did you watched Worlds at the last week, and we'll get on to the results in a minute. But one of the adverts in Worlds is Sarah Hokum phoning up the PDGA's hotline to ask if she can run a tournament with 4 hands only. Have you seen that advert?
I didn't. Pretty much every time the advert shut off, I was looking at my phone.
Fair enough. Anyway, I'm sure people in chat have seen this. Maybe I should petition the PDGA to allow me to run a tournament with reverse mulligans. And
there you go. Can I just jump in on something that you've mentioned there? I actually contacted PDGA on Saturday or whenever it was, and obviously didn't hear back from Andrew Sweeten until Monday, Tuesday sort of time. Just obviously, Worlds has been happening, so he's been a busy man. Yeah. But what I've done is I actually requested to use hole 1 the same way that European Open. I think it was either hole 16 or 17, where you keep throwing until you land in bounds.
Yeah,
they're no longer allowing that rule. So,
really,
interestingly enough, they didn't really give me any background on it. But after that, they've said they're not doing that anymore.
Oh wow! So presumably, USDGC, which is in a few weeks' time, I think it's hole 17 there will change as well. So we'll
unless they confirm that before saying no to me. I'm really important.
Well, that might be quite a hot take. We might be some of the. You might have heard it here first.
There you go.
That they're changing that. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed that you've mentioned that. To be honest, because I think it's a fantastic kind of feature to have on one of the holes that makes things a little bit different. And it's tough, and it means that some poor sod out there's going to take a snowman or worse.
Yeah, for sure.
on a par 3 or whatever. But
yeah, we did get a wee ruling change on it though, so we are going to still have the island that we'd created, which is 20 meters forward of the basket, which is on an island of its own again. And anyone from those top 4 divisions from the ATs that I mentioned before is going to be in, hazard if they're outside of that 20 meter zone.
Right. Okay.
So same, but slightly different, slightly less rough.
Yeah, that's a shame, honestly, because I kind of liked it, and it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get onto that if it actually gets announced officially, then we'll come back to it. But yeah, that is a bit of a shame, honestly. But there we go. Also went out on Saturday afternoon, played a bit of golf at Harcourt Park. Not played up there in some time. And the ground was actually surprisingly good. It's fault line, although it's not been announced, I've heard is going to be at the end of November. But I don't know the exact dates. Maybe if this Jack or Liz are watching or hear of it, then they can confirm. But I heard that it's going to be towards the end of November, so I need to get up to Harcourt a little bit more to get practicing. And then Monday night was quite surprising. Didn't expect to. Went out and played some more night golf down at Berrenpool with my glow bag, which I say bag. I've got 3 discs.
Well, it's a good time to get out there for those sort of evening rounds. Dusk golf, even.
It is best time of the year, I think, because in a few weeks' time it'll be too light, especially when the clocks go forward.
Yeah.
In what 3 weeks' time, I think the clocks go forward.
Not the 19th, the 26th.
26th, yeah. So we're not got too long. That's just over 2 weeks, between 2 and 3 weeks. So yeah, again, fantastic work put on by the Disruption crew up here in Wellington. So that's that consists of Ben Morrison, Ariana Hitch, and Daniel Smith. They did a fantastic job lighting up the fairways and the gaps in the wooded holes so that you can see where you're going, and the lights on the basket. I found a glow keystone, so I put with a keystone anyway. I found a glow keystone. I threw an MVP reactor, and I threw a Wraith actually this week.
Is your Wraith what, a stable one?
All Wraiths are stable for me.
Okay, fair enough.
But it was the Wraith out of the NZDG Nationals.
Yep.
Tournament pack from Invercargill last year.
Yeah. So, was yours the Halo one?
No, it was the Glow one.
Glow. Oh,
yeah. So so it was I had a Glow Wraith. So I got a Glow Wraith, but I also got a Halo Wraith as well. 1 second. Oh no, I got a Halo Destroyer and a Glow Wraith. So
that's a pretty one.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, right. Oh yes, something which I've just been reminded of in chat actually. Mungo Jerry reminds us that there's a glow round happening tomorrow night at Avalon Park in Wellington. Now, Avalon Park, if you're not sure, it's in Hutt Valley. It's about halfway. It's not halfway to Harcourt Park. It's about a third of the way to Harcourt Park from Petone. So you come off the State Highway 2 at the Avalon turnoff, turn right, stay on that road, turn left to get into Avalon Park, and you'll see it lit up there. It's a very, very nice park that would be brilliant for a disc golf course, Morgan. But it's so busy. It's so busy.
So only good for night golf at the moment.
Yeah, only really good for night golf and kind of winter golf you could play in there. But as soon as it's sunny, it just fills with people, and it's just you can't play on that.
There's a number of places around like that, where you just you're walking around with the fam and you're going, this is disc golf heaven.
Yeah,
and then it's also recreation heaven.
Yeah, then you see people having picnics and stuff, which is fine. But it does reduce the numbers somewhat. But yeah, if you want to get involved in that glow round at Avalon Park tomorrow night, I think Stan Morris from Upper Hutt is organising. So get in touch with him if you're keen to play tomorrow night at Avalon Park. Something I did conclude having played 2 glow rounds in the space of 2 weeks, Morgan, is that I'm not very good at glow disc golf.
What aren't you good about? Not seeing the lines?
So here's what it is now. Well, no, because I can see the fairways, and I've played these holes that we're playing hundreds of times. Maybe not hundreds, but a lot of times to know what line I should take. And although the discs that I'm throwing aren't the ones that I normally throw, they're not too dissimilar. All right. If I was to play during the day with them, I'd shoot much better. And the reason that I think it doesn't work is when you especially when you're putting, I rely on being able to see where my hand and the disc are moving prior to me letting go. Right. And you can't see that in the dark, or at least sometimes. And putting from anything outside about 5 meters is really hard. And I think scrambling is really difficult in the dark as well. Not least because, you don't want to be on ground that you can't really see, but even more so for that reason, that you often like to be able to see exactly the path your hand is going to take. And so you've got that kind of constant feedback you can adjust, but you don't get that at nighttime. And so, and the depth perception does change as well. So I've decided that reverse mulligans, I'm good for. Glow golf, I'm not good for. So there we go.
Just on the topic of glow golf, or just a shout out to the Struggle Street Massive. Those guys are playing there. Well, they play every week. They play night golf every week on a Thursday at 7:30.
They haven't built on that section yet.
Soon, unfortunately, soon. Yeah, all the signage and that's up, but not yet. The boys are still going strong over in Struggle Street, shot over country. They're in there. They're having the trophy round tonight.
Great fun.
Yeah, they're having their trophy round tonight for the monthly trophy round, I should say. And I was just sort of having a look on my phone a minute ago to see if
the schools finished
third one, but no one's put it up on the chat just yet. So maybe they're still going. Maybe it's a big battle.
I reckon so. Struggle Street, although it won't be along for very much longer, I did very much enjoy playing that when it came down.
Grassroots as it comes there.
Oh, absolutely. And presumably Carter's still ripping it up. And
Carter is just insane, man. It's crazy. I see him quite a lot out there with Chris playing, but every time I see him, I swear he's added another 5 meters to his throw. So, once he gets a little older, a little bigger, man, he's just going to be full set. There's a few kids down here like that, We've got the Harus of Queenstown, who's now a full-grown adult, for sure. He's got the beard, half the beard going on, and that man rips it. But then he's got his young brother, Hanato, who's out there just destroying discs as well. He crushed it at Tucker Beach.
Yeah, they've both been playing really well, and we'll see how their results, especially as we head into a more packed tournament season and major season early next year, how they go. Right now, you've got something that we didn't announce in the initial thing of the show today, but you put in the comments afterwards. What's going on?
Oh, with the shirts?
Yeah,
man. So, guys, this is my Big Dogs Gotta Eat logo that I got created within the last couple of weeks there. I was out on the course there probably 2 weeks ago even, and for some reason it came out my mouth right before I putted. I went, Big Dog's Gotta Eat. And to be fair, I think I missed the putt, but, is what it is. we don't do it on that.
Hungry today. Yeah.
And someone said to me, they're like, you need to get that on a shirt or on a disc. So I called up my good friend Hannah Joint and got her to design the logo for a small cost, and then got Loren up in Christchurch at NZDSS or Lowe's Tees to print it on the shirts, and they just arrived at my house this afternoon sometime. So didn't really realize I was going to be here for today. Loren sent me a couple of extra shirts actually, and I would like to give one of those away tonight. Now,
just before we do that, let's if you're interested in getting involved in this, go to Lowe's Custom Tees or Lowe's Custom T-shirts.
So
I think we'll look.
What you'll find is Tommy Strawbridge is actually going to post both of hers and Hannah's Facebook pages in the group chat here for us.
Oh, there we go. I've just
organised that with him. So guys, go onto their pages, follow them. Lorraine does awesome shirt design. She just started up her new company, so she does hot stamping on shirts. And Hannah is based down south, and she does all sorts of designs. She has done all of the Paradise Plates imagery of all of the characters, all the animals. So yeah, hit her up, get your own design done, and yeah, put it upload and get it on some shirts. And I'm also going to get it on a disc from Casey. I've got that in the works with her as well.
Fantastic. Some real nice looking shirts there, actually. So yeah, head over to Lowe's t-shirts, and the link is in the comments that we just put in. So
yeah. So just so you know, I've got 2 shirts here. I've got one black one white one. I'm just going to give one away tonight. They are size XL. So
okay.
Sorry for anyone that's a bit smaller.
Is that a men's XL or a
men's XL? Yeah,
men's XL. Okay. And what are we doing? Wheel of names?
Yeah, let's do wheel of names. You know I love the wheel of names. So
okay.
guys, stick. What are we going to put? Big dog in the chat.
Type in the word big dog. If you want to have a chance of winning this one of those shirts, and you want to get involved, then put it in. We'll run the wheel at the end of the show, so you've got plenty of time to get your entry in. But you're putting big dog into the comments, exactly as Anthony Gilbert has just done.
Right, Anthony, good luck, buddy.
Let's get on with the show, shall we? We're going to go through hot scores to begin with. Then we're going to go through the results of the blood sacrifice at the Confluence, and then after that, we're going to go through Worlds and go through all the results there. So yeah, we're going to start.
Apologies.
We're going to start off, Morgan, down south with you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Hot scores for the week coming out of the south. We've got Ethan Stout with a -12 at Queen's Park down in Invercargill. Isaac Howard. I think Isaac, let us know if you're in the chat. Have you moved all the way down south? But anyway, -8 at Chingford. We've got Calvin Cummings with a -6 at Brockville. We've got myself with a -12 at Queenstown Gardens. That was just this afternoon. And I do believe there was someone else, Matt, but sorry to that guy. -8 for Russ King at Tucker Beach. Luke Hassan with a -2 at Ely Point. Mundo McDisk with a -9 at Lismore. And shout out to Gus Van Gisteren, who got an ace on one of the holes there at Lismore today. Jelly Park, Ashton Clark, -13. Ascot Park, Tommy Strawbridge with a -6. He went down south for a few rounds this week. Queen's Park Reserve, we've got Jasper Vandermeer at -6. Tommy Strawbridge again at Brooker Ave with another -6. And Taylor River, we've got Andy Clune with a -6 to round out the South Island. Let's go north, Matt.
Okay, so starting up in the North Island at Berrenport, it's Mark Bauman who hits a 7 under par in the hills in Wellington. Over at Hikoikoi, Brady Cush hits 5 under par at the reserve. Up at Harcourt Park in Upper Hutt, it's myself who shoots a hot round with a -1. Very, very pedestrian -1, but it's good enough for this week. Linklater. In the Mighty Manawa 2, the hot score here is Leroy with 3 under par. Over at Maryland's, Brian Levine hits 5 under par, and Spa Park Red, it's Andy V takes out the honours with a +1. Up at McLaren's, Joe Berry shoots 10 under par. Incredible score.
That is an incredible score up there.
Of course, it's the extreme in a month or two's time, so we'll certainly be watching Joe in that. And up at Henderson, Sam Hitchcock, it's 14 under par to take out the honours in the Big Smoke. So yeah, some very good scores there, and well done to everybody who hit one of them. Now. It's Big Dog, spelled DAWG.
Oh, of course.
If you want a chance of winning one of the T-shirts, similar to the one that Morgan's got on in a men's XL,
you can choose black or white.
Black or white, then all you need to do is put Big Dog into the comments, and we'll get you into the draw. Rather like that. Okay, now we're going to go to the Confluence, held a tournament last weekend. And we're going to go over to the results now. So let's have a look. This was the second time that this tournament was run down in Wanaka. 45 players last weekend. Ryan Cambridge, as our tips suggested, took out the men's division, the MPO division.
Mixed Pro Open.
The Mixed Pro Open division. Ollie Webb in second place with a +2, and Matt Pritchard and Peter McKay tie up in third place with +3 each. Down in MA1, it was actually Ruben Goss who took out the overall win with an 8 under par. So well done to him. And Daniel Hunter, who came second overall, also in MA1. So doing very well from there. And I'm presumably Jamie Hunter, I'm presuming they're related.
I think so.
It comes in third place, tied with Cooper Solis in MA1 division.
Cool to see the big win coming out of MA1. Neg 8, then -4 both rounds.
I mean, Confluence, you've played Confluence, eh?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. And apparently, well, not even apparently, I know for a fact that recently in the last 6 months or so, they've done a hell of a lot of work down there, cleaning it up. They've had the reforestation process sort of going on down there, planting all the native plants. And I'm not sure if they've changed any of the holes or not, but MPO struggling by the seams of it.
If you haven't played Confluence, it really is a very rugged track and one that it's very easy to lose discs, injure yourself, or at the very least play relatively poorly at.
Talk it up.
Well, no, but for some people that's exactly what people want, right? Is you want to go there and you want to have a real challenge on your hands, and certainly the Confluence will do that to you.
Yeah, the biggest key on that course is just getting clean off the tee. Like you catch an early branch, and as Matt said, you can be just deep in the garbage, just rambling your way out, trying to get back to a bogey, even not even from par. So
there's very little ground play that you'll take advantage of. You've really got to shoot everything in the air because it's just underground is just.
Yeah, well, it's an old riverbed. It's an old riverbed. It's a lot of stone. Very, very similar to sort of the ground at Tucker Beach, but more sort of wooded. The whole course.
Yeah. So well done to everybody who went out there and competed this week. It would have been a hard fought course. Hayley Flintoff comes 16th in MA1 with a +12, and she was the best scoring lady of the weekend. So well done to her. So that's the Confluence. The next event isn't this weekend. It's the weekend after down in Dunedin. It's the final icebreaker one in the series. So we'll have a look at the tips for that next week. I think I know who my money's on, but we'll have to see. Right. And a few more people have been putting Big Dog into the comments and getting themselves into the draw to win Who's the Latest Person. We've got a few more to go in. Morgan, did you watch? There was another tournament held last weekend over in America.
Yeah, just a wee one.
Did you catch any of the action?
Yep, I watched. What day did it kick off? Did it kick off on Thursday? Is that right?
Yeah, the first round was Thursday morning for us.
I watched Thursday.
We spoke about the results last week.
Yeah, I watched Thursday, Friday, and Monday. Obviously, I was away in Oahu for Saturday, Sunday doing work, and didn't really happen out there with the reception and whatnot. But yeah, man, unreal.
Yeah, I mean,
unbelievable.
It was. I'll be honest, right? First couple of days. So if you're not sure, let's just have a look at the. Let's just go through the results here. The first in MPO. The results were Isaac Robertson always kind of kept himself thereabouts, which was the key, eh? And then after I think round 4, he had a 3-shot lead. I think it was. He took a 3-shot lead into the final round, which was in the end enough to see him through. Paul Macbeth, who had finished in the top 2 in every one of the last 10 years, which is an incredible feat, and they talked about whether it would happen again, and it's happened twice already. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again, honestly. But it would be tough to occur. unfortunately, he finishes tied 13th. And it's Isaac Robinson who stays steady. And when you say stay steady, that final round really impressed me. How he wasn't particularly flash. He wasn't particularly eccentric with
very clean
with the way he played. He was just incredibly consistent. Hit lines, hit gaps, hit fairways, and hit putts.
Yeah, his putt was absolutely on, but I think everyone's putt can be on the day, but getting off the tee and just keeping clean up those fairways that are confluence light will just chew you up with one branch.
Yeah, hard.
That can be your whole tournament, going one branch off the tee, having to scramble out twice, and then still throwing 140 odd meters up the fairway to scramble double bogey.
Mm-hmm.
And that can set you off on the wrong track for the rest of the round. So, yeah, big ups to Isaac for just really pushing, staying clean, getting the job done. That was a pretty special ending to the tournament, just seeing him there with his dad. They're sort of having that mini celebration with one shot to go after he'd hit the tree on his on his approach shot after the tee shot. And then, putting it inside C1 and just realizing what was about to happen. That was special.
Yeah. Anthony Barella finishes in second place with from the chase card, which is incredible. That second and the two people tied in third were all tied going in to the final hole, and from the chase card. And I have to say, I was delighted. That Matteo managed to put in an absolutely stonker of a final round.
Who couldn't be cheering for Matty O? Someone said it to me earlier. I actually said that same comment in a group chat that I'm in earlier.
Yeah.
I said, how could you not cheer for Matty O coming down the stretch there? And, they said the only reason I couldn't really cheer for him is because everyone there was cheering for him and the lead card had to keep waiting for the crowd to shut up so they could keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken about how much I like his play. He's very unorthodox, and he's got a little bit of an air bounce to his drive, which I can identify with.
Me too.
But he's also, I think, now holds the record for the longest period of time between the first World's podium and his latest World's podium.
Oh,
right, at like 18 years. I think 2005 was when he first finished on the podium, which is ludicrous, quite frankly.
It is.
Further down, then we've got Calvin Heimberg, world number one, comes in fifth place, and then a group of players: Gannon, Burr, Olden Harris, and Carl Klein, all in sixth place. Chris Dickerson started off quite well, and I thought after two rounds he'd be thereabouts.
He didn't really fall off though, did he? I feel like he just got left behind a little bit.
He did a little bit.
I don't feel like he fell off.
Yeah. And it was one of those that, he was still in it till probably about halfway through the last round.
Yeah.
And then it's at that point that if you're not keeping pace, then you're tricky. Brett's asked, how far down have you got to scroll before you get a sub not 1,000 rated round? There's one here from Evan Scott. Who was on was he on lead card?
He was. He's the M Worlds winner from last year, wasn't he? Yeah,
that's it. And he hit an ace. I think it was on round 3. A Worlds ace is going to be fantastic, right? But 981, and then Grady Shue off the back of a 1083 to a 988. What a flip!
Jeez.
And then even then, that's what there was three in the top 20, and you have to go down pretty far until you find.
Just while we're down at this part of the list here that I'm looking at as well, number 19, Nicholas Antela.
Yeah,
that was who I was rooting for after about round 3.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see the Finnish double header for the championship. I really did, and he looked for all money like he could do it. Oh, is he? He looked for all money like he could do it, and had a few road bumps, a few speed bumps, and it was all over just like that. Flick of a switch.
It's amazing in a 5-round tournament. It's almost like you can, as long as you're in the top group, you haven't completely fallen away
Mhm.
with a round and a bit to go on a 5-round tournament, you're still in it. And
Yep.
then you've just got to, it's got to be full acceleration from that point.
Yeah.
The winner of the tournament will be the person who can keep going in the final 2 rounds and shoot the best. And I think that's what we.
There's nothing like 5-day sports, Matt. Test match cricket for the win.
Don't talk to me about Test match cricket. I love a Test match.
Yes.
So can quite happily sit down and watch 5 days of a Test match, as I can sit down and watch 5 days of a disc golf major.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at FPO. Oh, who else thought Missy Gannon was going to do it? She was 1 shot behind going into what was it? After the 3rd round, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
She was 1 shot after 17 holes.
Yeah. And
everybody thought, was it after round 4, actually? It could have been round 4. And I, along with everybody else, thought, here we go. We might actually see something here. This could be, are we going to see Kristen choke for the first time, ever?
No.
And the answer is no, of course not.
Because Paige Pierce put the post out online after round 4, I believe, saying this is it. Missy's going to do it. That lit a fire under the ass of Kristen Tatar. Put all the pressure in the world on Missy, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. I mean, but look at this. 2, a 10.34 and then a 10.38. I mean, there's not many people in New Zealand, man or woman, who have thrown anywhere close to that. There's only a handful of players who have shot better than that. And so that's just incredible. A lot of Europeans in that top 10.
Yeah, big.
Kristen, Evelina, Henna, Silva, and Lucky. So you've got what? Yeah, no, have I got that right?
Yeah, and then you just go down further as well.
A lot of Europeans. Will Kristen Tatar hit 1,000 rating next week? I don't think she will, Brett. I don't think she will. I think the 975 and the 986 may have too much of an influence on the 1,000 rated. I'm not sure she'll make it to 1,000. I think she'll see a bump, because if you're not sure about this, then what you can do is on Tuesday next week is ratings day. So if you've played a PDGA round in the last month, since sort of the first week of August, then your rating will get updated. So if there's anybody out there who's done that, then you can check that. But we'll also be able to see if Kristen hits 1,000. I'm not sure it's going to happen, honestly. I think it will. I think it will come out at about 997. About 997. I think, just because of these couple of rounds here. Remember, the last 25% of rounds count double influence. So you got to do well and do well recently in order for that to come through. Anything else that's jumping out at you in the ladies division there, Morgan?
Nope, it's the tail of the top. Let's not beat around the bush. That's where it's at. It's the tail of the top, and who's going to chase it down, and when's it going to happen?
Something that's interesting that's just caught my eye is this Eliza Meitling. So a couple of things here. One, she didn't take the cash despite finishing in cash.
Ooh.
Right. Which is presumably so that she can remain an amateur and compete at amateur worlds, because she actually won the ladies junior worlds earlier on, the one that Levi and Sebastian and Sarah competed in, and her younger sister was in the same division as Sarah. So the Meitling family doing very well, and it was great to see her. She won the distance competition, I think, as well.
Oh, that one, yes,
ludicrous distance.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that.
Let's just see if it's somewhere on here. I think it is on here somewhere. Oh, there we go. The long drive. Oh, no, that's the long drive at Junior Worlds. 482 is just silly. Honestly, that wasn't the one at Worlds though, but
that's a mash.
Yeah, that's yeah, it is. Where am I going? There we are. Yeah, I mean that's Tom Strawbridge making the point. Yeah, Katrina Allen not playing too well. So I'm part of a disc golf fantasy tipping league, I guess you call it, which is in its sort of development stage. I think it's going to be launched a little bit more officially next year. Sorry, so I hope I'm not giving too much away. But in that league, I actually traded out. Who did I trade out? I made some ludicrous trade that I brought in Emerson Keefe and I took out Missy Gannon when and I left Katrina Allen in. And I'm not so fussed about the Emerson Keefe pick because in past Worlds he's played well.
Yeah.
Right. And so I wasn't too fussed about that. But why did I take out? And then Paul Macbeth, who I've also got, didn't play well.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did not have a good week in the old
nothing like a bit of social gambling
in the old tipping stakes, but hey ho, there we are. Right. Worlds is over for another year. We've got another major winner, and in fact, I think the pictures have been updated, haven't they? If we go to
on PDGA
on the PDGA site, I don't know why it's not letting me zoom out, but to be able to see them. But I think that's Isaac Robinson there, and I think that's Chris Najar on the right hand side. So yes, that's all been updated. Worlds has been and gone. 2 years ago, when Conrad beat Macbeth, that's the kind of final round that you're going to watch again.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Are you going to watch any of this Worlds again, Morgan?
I'd like to say yes, but I don't watch enough disc golf in the first place. The Holy Shot round is something special, though, so it's slightly different. They're almost incomparable.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought as it going through, there are a couple of really, really good rounds. I'd like to actually watch the chase card of the final rounds.
Yeah,
round
for sure.
Again.
AB's card, eh?
Because Eagle McMahon puts in a shift on that one as well.
They both shot 13 down in that final round.
Yeah, so it did an incredible job. So it's going to be. I'll probably watch that one again, but I'm not sure what else I would. But yeah. Arnie just mentioning the Disc Golf Fantasy League will be going off next season. Yes, so Arnie is one of the organisers of the Disc Golf Fantasy League, and we'll have to get him on the show actually, so he can talk fully about it. So more people can get involved. I've been playing this year, and I have to say my picks haven't been very good, honestly. But there we are. It's a good bit of fun and a bit of banter between a group of people. Right, people putting Big Dog into the comments. Leon is in. Johnny Ferrari, we've got your entry in. Lots of people here. I'm not sure will fit in Excel, but.
It's a good Christmas gift.
Exactly. Yeah.
Christmas is just around the corner, Matt.
Give it to your smaller young one. Yeah, excellent.
Who's that directed at?
Sorry, nobody in particular. My own name is in this, and I certainly wouldn't be able to fit an Excel. So yeah, I think that feels bad. Okay. We'll do the draw for this very shortly. You've got about 3 or 4 minutes before we get involved with doing the draw. Just before we do, just to say that the Brixton disc golf cards have been selling like hotcakes. And we still got some left. If you want to get involved on sweetchainmusic.co.nz, some of them some of them are absolute beauties. And also, some of them have been going for some pretty silly prices.
Crazy prices.
Well. So, like,
did you see the message I got?
Oh yes, because you pulled a Zoe Andike one of one, and which you did in your was it last week you did it?
Yeah,
live?
I was just thinking about it right there. I can't actually remember what day I did it, but and I did the live. I actually must have done the live before last week's show. Anyhow, come Friday, I think it was, I get a video message from Zoe and like yourself, who's at Worlds at Smugs, just saying thanks for buying the cards, and I'm glad it was you, and hope to see you out here in New Zealand one day. So
incredible.
Yeah,
not expecting that, eh?
I was not expecting that. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. Just I think the dog had jumped on the bed or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, check my phone. What's the time? Oh, I got a message. Check that." Sitting in bed, going, "What is this?" And then, of course, I didn't go back to sleep. So
excellent. Well, if you do want to get involved and get your hands on one, then head over to sweetchainmusic.co.nz. Yeah, some in stock.
Just before we go and do the draw, I just want to bring this up as well. I'm terrible for just going and buying things on a whim, and I wish I'd done this last week before we went to OHAL.
What you bought now? A bag of magic beans? No,
I went and bought myself a drone.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. It's payday. What else am I supposed to buy? No, well, I've been toying with the idea, and we talked about it more and more while we're up in OHAL, that I want to do whole previews and things like that. So keep an eye out for that. It's probably not going to happen for OHAL because I probably won't get back up there before the tournament. But Roxburgh and that, I will try and get out there at some stage before Christmas and get some whole previews done throughout there after I've learned how to fly the thing.
I was going to say, you live near? Do you live near the airport in Queenstown?
Yeah, I do. But so the cool thing about these DJIs, and I didn't know this, and I'm just sort of learning it once I've got it back online, is that it has an interface through the app where it tells you where you can and can't fly. So on the map, it's got like the zone red, which is within 3 to 4 kilometers of the airport, no fly. 5 to 7 kilometers, I think it was, is not above 120 meters, which is actually in the zone that I live in.
Yeah.
And then outside of that is fine. But it shows you on the map, and if you were to fly into that area, it turns around and comes automatically back to you.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's amazing. In Wellington, a lot of Wellington is just red. You can't fly.
Yeah. Well, you got the airport right up the guts.
And which is frustrating. Berhampore especially, because it's quite close. But I've always thought it quite strange because when you're filming disc golf shots, when you're filming disc golf shots, you're probably flying at 8 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
like you're not. It's not any, and most of that distance is under trees. Yeah. So there's something's got to be going wrong.
Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You could go and buy the gimbal. So
that's right. Yeah.
$240 odd at Noel Leeming right now. You go get one of those and film all your holes and just walk along. I think Roberts did it. Roberts actually did that for Tuckers, I believe, a couple of years ago. So that works.
Yeah. It does. Absolutely. Right.
You're not going to fly into any trees.
You won't. Right. Let's give away a T-shirt.
Yes.
So if you haven't put your name, if you haven't put Big Dog into the comments, you've got about 30 seconds to put it in order to get your entry in. Also, good time to say, please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. You can see down the bottom, we've got 221 subscribers. Our next big giveaway is at 250. And being a little bit of a landmark milestone, we're going to plan something pretty big. So
another T-shirt.
Maybe another T-shirt, but help us get to 250. We've done giveaways last 2 weeks actually. If you want to be involved, then get involved. Right, let's get this up on the screen now.
Not Tom Strawbridge, excuse me.
Not Tom Strawbridge is what Morgan's saying. Let's just check. Tom Strawbridge's name is in the draw. Who else have we got? Brett Carlisle, who took away the he won. What did Brett win the other week? He won something.
What were you giving away?
He won a disc. He won a disc, didn't he? I think he did. We've got myself. I'm in the draw. Johnny Ferrari is in the draw. Leon Botta is in the draw. Kath Headley's in the draw. Scott Brooker, Arnie Burgess, and a bunch of other people. The winner of the shirt must attend Wahitapu is what Tom Strawbridge is saying. But there we are. Right, okay, here we go. We're going to spin the wheel and see who's winning.
Good luck, team.
This lovely T-shirt. And the winner. Oh, it's just gone round. It skipped over my name, but the name is Mikey Asif.
Hey.
So congratulations to Mikey. Please
that's Mikey you.
Oh, is it? Lovely stuff. Excellent. We'll get in touch with the show or see Morgan. And
I'll see you down the course tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's Mikey you. Can you just confirm that in the chat? Someone?
And we'll get. He might actually fit the XL, which probably will be like a tent. And Morgan will get a T-shirt to you.
He loves a tall tee. He's got the snowboard steez. He loves a tall tee. Awesome. Congrats, Mikey. Good stuff, team. Thanks for getting involved. And thank you, Loren, for printing the shirts. And thanks, Hannah, for doing the design.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're absolutely fantastic. If you want to get involved with and get your hands on some of the designs were really quite cool. I quite like that understable T-shirt. I can think of many people who I might have to purchase one of that for. They may not even know what I'm talking about, but it'd be good nonetheless.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, both of those people have been doing awesome things in disc golf for a number of years. You know, Hannah's been on the drawings now for 6-7 years, being a part of Paradise, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, get involved, team. Support them because they support us.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at some of the upcoming events that we've got around New Zealand. So the Final Meltdown is on the 17th of September. It's sold out. It's the final event in the Black Ice Tour down in Dunedin. And then 2 weeks after that is the Tauranga Extreme with Joe Berry shooting so impressively recently. Who's going to take out the victory and Omanawa this year? The Te Pohoi Breeze. I think there's 8 spots left for the middle of October. So yeah, new event, new course being set up by the disc shop guys, and in Te Pohoi. It's about, I think it's like 45 minutes from Napier, and near Bayview. So if you're looking at getting,
I was talking to Victoria about that, who lives in my unit on the other side of the house there, and she had a big part in sort of organising that event.
Oh, fantastic!
When it first come around, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to go? I could probably be tempted to go if you go, but she can't make it because of the work commitment." And I probably should think better too. Actually, what date was that one?
That's the 14th to 15th. Well, you have to get in quick because there's only 8 spots left.
I'm in Fiji.
You're in Fiji. Oh,
Fiji.
Okay.
Terrible.
There we are. Okay. The Hanma Hot Rounds is the same day, 15th of October. Registration is open for Christchurch Disc Golf Club members, and registration for everybody opens on the 11th of September. We'll get on to registration in a minute because I've got a little tale to tell about the registration that of another tournament that we'll get to shortly. The Topol Thermal Throwdown is the 21st, 22nd of October, and it is sold out. But I'm going to that, so I shall see anybody else who's playing in that tournament. Looking forward to that one. It's going to be good fun. The Waimate Spring Sling is on the 21st to the 22nd of October as well. So if you're not in Topol, but you are in Waimate, then get yourself to that. Registration is open now. The Rapper Rumble in Masterton is the first weekend in November. Registration is open for that. I love Henley Lakers, of course. Think it's fantastic. Get yourself there if you're in the area. Moonbase 9, South Island Champs in Twizel. Still registration spots available for that for the first major of the year. We'll be following the results very closely. Bros for Change Charity Classic is in the second to last weekend of November. And then Wahitapu is on the 24th to 26th of November, which could also be the same weekend as Fault Line, but we'll let you know what exactly those dates when we can confirm. Egg Monster at Inglewood is the first weekend of January. Now, the registration's open, but Morgan, I don't know if we spoke about this last week on the show. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So the way it was set up was on the Sunday night
divisions.
Registration opened for like MPO, FPO, and then
MP40 maybe.
MP40. I think it was Pro Divisions plus Juniors.
Yeah.
And then the following day, it was also on the Monday was like FA1, MA1, and maybe another one. And then on the Tuesday, it was MA40, FA40, and then on the next day it went down again, and you had all these kind of tiered divisions like this.
Yeah.
Right? And then there was a comment. We talked about it.
Yeah.
And we said, well, I'm not quite sure about how they've arrived at doing it in this way. And then so then they changed it to being pro divisions and juniors opened at 8 o'clock on the Sunday, and then everyone else opened at 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still not sure why it was changed to that. In the end, it had no effect.
So that's what it changed to. So I think what got brought up in the chat last week by Bray, I think it was what's to stop people from signing up in MPO and then changing their division in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
We talked about doing it as a ratings based as opposed to division based.
Yeah. Well, look, it's interesting because we talked about it being ratings own. Like you should base it on ratings if you want to get the best people. Right. So let me just be clear about this because I've had a bit of time to clarify my thoughts on this, and so this is what I think it should be the way it's done. It's not to say that this it absolutely should be. This is my view. When you're hosting a major, and I'm being very clear about saying it's the 3 majors here that we're talking about, right? When you're hosting a major, you want to ensure, I think, that the best players in the country are given the first opportunity to attend those tournaments so that you can hand on heart say this competition defines who the best players are.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want it limited behind you be a club member or do this or do that. So it should simply be based on, doesn't matter where you're based, doesn't matter if you're a member of a club or organizing committee or volunteered, whatever. What it should be is almost the highest rated player in the country gets an invite. And they should say, right, we've got 140 spaces or whatever, and say, right, the 140 best players in New Zealand. However you want to define that, is it right? You can define it by rating. You can define it by last year's points, although I'm not quite sure about that. I actually think rating's better. You can take the top 140 people, right, in the divisions and say, right, you guys get the first tranche of go, right? And you've got 2 days or something to do it. And after that, anybody that doesn't register, your space gets open to the next group of people after that. It's a little bit of an administrative nightmare, honestly, because you've got to change the size of the, how many people can register on each day and let people know and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit tricky, but I think you could probably simplify it by saying, right, if you're above this rating, then your invites now. If you're above this rating, then you can go now. And because when it's a major, I think that's the time at which you should go. We want to be able to say these are the best players in the country. So
that just goes off current ratings though, is the best way to do it.
Yeah,
because it's who's the best player now. Right now.
If it's not a major and it's just another tournament, and I'll pick out another one. It could be anything.
Sub-Zero.
Sorry?
Sub-Zero.
It could be Sub-Zero. Yeah. Then I think it's up to the tournament director to make a call on how they want to run the registration. And the way in which they run the registration will inform the people, the community, the disc golf world, exactly what the priorities are for that tournament director for this tournament, right? So it could be that the tournament director is like, right, it's really important to me to make ladies disc golf and junior disc golf as welcoming as possible and as easy to play as possible. So they're going to get first chance to register for the first week of registration or whatever, right? And we're going to go hard on the advertising and the local kind of get involved to try and get people to get people signed up in that first week. And then after that, we'll open it to everybody. It could be that they're sat there and they go, "Oh, do you know what? What we want to do is we want to. This is a community event. It's for the local area, and it's an event that we want really." Yeah, people can come from further away to play, but really it's for the club. It's for the local disc golf club to play. And I think that's the point where you can say, right, well, for the first few days or period of time, it's open to this club members, right?
Yep.
So
a lot of clubs do that too, don't they?
A lot of clubs do it. So how you tier your registration informs the community how the tournament director wants to run their tournament and what they believe to be important based on their values.
Yep.
Mungo makes a point, I think we need to reserve spots for juniors as well. Yeah, I mean, maybe they should, but that's up to the tournament director to make a call on. There could be tournament directors going out there and saying, yeah, we've got the majors to decide who the best players are, but they've never played a course quite like this. So I want this tournament to also be a competition for the best players. We don't have to have, I don't think, priority for underserved, and I'm using the word underserved as a group term there for what is generally assumed to be ladies and junior divisions. We don't have to have each tournament to have underserved divisions be first in the tier list. It really is up to the tournament director, and it's up to people to vote with their discs to say, I'm going to turn up or I'm not. Right. And if the tiering of registration will, just like the tiering of registration is just like everything else about the tournament, it tells you about what the values of that tournament are and how the tournament director, who's the one ultimately responsible, how they want their event to run, and people will vote with their feet. So I don't know. That's my view. That's how I think it should run. But for the majors, especially where they're NZDG majors, I think NZDG should do a bit differently here, and they should say we are reserving this tournament for the best players. Because you know what? Imagine North Island Champs sold out super quick, right? It didn't in the end. I mean, it's quite disappointing. My wife was sat with me, hoping for another sort of registration struggle fest as we had for the more recently Topol, which was very exciting. That sold out in seconds, and it was all very exciting watching the number of entries go in. And I was on a group chat where people were going, "I'm not in," but some people were.
It's cool to watch. It's cool to watch.
That didn't happen with North Island Champs. People kind of dripped in, and even now there's entries. I think that's largely to do with the date rather than the tiering of the registrations. However, I think, how disappointed would somebody be? Imagine you're in the top 20 players and your space at that tournament is taken up by me, who just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I mean, that's not really. I don't think that's quite right. I think that the people who are the best players in the country for majors should be given priority. And you know what? If that means I don't get to play a major, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out and try and be better, so that in the future I can be one of those people who gets the invite. And I think for majors, that's the point. We're trying to find who the best players are. It's not, majors aren't an opportunity, aren't the right place, in my view, to be trying to appeal to people who have never played the sport before. I think majors are a time to go primarily, if people do play the sport for the first time at a major, then great. But primarily it's there to say, this is a competition to define who the best players in the country are.
Yeah, but that's really only come around in, like they say, since COVID. Before that,
what do you mean tournaments selling out?
Yeah, like they have done in the past couple of years. Like we didn't see that pre-COVID.
Yeah, but
it's still a really recent thing. And with the introduction of more tournaments that we're seeing, not just elite, but more tournaments all over the country, just in general.
Yeah,
we're not really getting to that point anymore.
No,
past maybe one event a year.
It's important that we set the standard now, so that in a few years' time, right? So, okay, thought experiment for you, right? Take the Garden City Open that was played last year, but you could have said it about the Southern Smash as well. All right, 2 very well attended events, and you could have said the same about Topol. 3 very well attended events. The spacing of the tournaments was such that people kind of went, and there was a lot of interest in them, right? Okay, so imagine, right? There was, I think, the Garden City Open got 255 people playing in it. I think something in that ballpark, right?
Incredible.
And it was incredible. One of the highest that we've seen in New Zealand, right? And there was probably not very many more people who were keen to play that tournament. Okay,
So everyone that was keen got there.
probably. Right? Yeah, there might have been a few people who logistically couldn't make it. That's not really the point. Right? If you could reasonably make it and you wanted to play, you could probably have got in. Is one thing. People might have said, "Oh, it was pretty close." Yeah, it might have been pretty close, right? But my point is, there wasn't hundreds of people who missed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, fast forward some time in the future, and there could be a time when 2,000 people want to play in the Garden City Open.
Could be.
Right? Now, between now and then, there's going to be a tipping point. There's going to be a point. Bray's just putting the numbers in. Yeah, 245, 247, 249. Right, brilliant. So there's going to be a tipping point at some point in the future, right? At which point, there's going to be a material and significant number of people who will miss out on a tournament, and if the registrations continue in the way that they're doing it, will miss out on a major tournament despite being better than the majority of people in the field. And if there was 2,000 people who were interested in playing a tournament, what are the chances that someone in the top 20 doesn't get to play if registration continues on how it is? Pretty high, right? And what I'm saying is now is a fantastic time to get it right? So that if we get it slightly wrong and we need to iterate the process in the future, we can do that and the impact will be less.
So with Bray's comment earlier in the chat, they're just saying, being realistic, I don't even see the point of tiered rego for tournaments with more than 140 players. Can't see any getting close to that at the moment. What you're saying is we need to get it going now so the process is correct down the track.
So that people get used to it. People know that that's the process, and people know that, shit, if I want to play in a major, I've got to get myself into the top 150 in order to get the tier 1 registration, right?
Yep.
So I think it should start now, so that in 5, 10, 20 years time, it's not something that we're kind of scratching our head about and going, shit, what are we going to do? We've got thousands of people here who want to play this event. We're stuck, right? And I think it should be put in now so that we're very much more used to it, and it becomes part of the way things are done, because we won't get it right the first time, guarantee, and it gives us a chance to iterate whilst make hay or fix the roof while it's sunny, or whatever you want to, whatever analogy or whatever you want to use it as. So like that would be my view. Morgan, do you disagree, or how do you see it?
No, I quite like your idea there. I do like the idea, as I'm just saying, I do like the idea of getting it right now, or getting it in the process so it is right in the future, sort of future-proofing and getting people ready for what is going to come. Because you are right, and it might not be 2,000 people wanting to be at an event, but 500, half the people are going to miss out.
Yeah.
So, there's only so much sunlight hours in a day. 250 is pretty much bang on that.
Yeah, look, the numbers work out more or less that if you've got 2 courses, and you're letting people off at 10-minute intervals, and you've got cards of 4, realistically, you could have about 140 people playing on each course. In a day that doesn't have people starting at silly o'clock and don't have people finishing in the dark, and allows for a little bit of wiggle room if you need it, right? And so 280 is a kind of a cap, which is actually, if you look at Worlds, Oh dear, that's not right. The field at Worlds they played on 2 different courses, mind, right? You had 294 total players, right? We said 280 or 140 per course. So that it's not. Once you get past there, you need another course.
Oh, for sure. And there's only so many places that can sustain that in this country.
Well, there's not many places that can sustain two championship level courses within a relatively close proximity to each other.
Right now. Right?
Yeah. So I mean, 249, 245, 247. I think we're seeing the kind of upper limits. I would have been surprised if there was too many more there. But I think we need to get into the habit of, especially at majors, saying early registration for the top so many players, so that people know.
Yeah, it can't really be the top X amount of players. It almost has to be ratings based, because the admin is near on impossible for doing the top 50 or top 100 players.
And also, how do you base it, right? I mean, you could look at rankings.
You have to be off tour stats. But
you could look at rankings, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But to be honest, the rankings have got their issues. They predict results pretty well in the top 20 to 30. But as you go down the rankings, the differences between people are so close that it actually doesn't really make too much difference.
I mean, you could go off of those and you can send out 100 invites or whatever it is to the top 100 players, but that's someone sitting there and individually going, this person send, this person send.
You don't want to
just administration.
Ratings you raise.
It has to be ratings, and that's already an option with Disc Golf Scene. So
so there we go.
Done.
Chat, what do you think? Do you agree? I think majors should be reserved for the best players in the country, and priority should be given almost in order of the best players in the country. And if that means that people miss out, go and be better. Right. Now, let's have a look at some of the the standings as they are now. Where are we going? This one? There we are. So more upcoming events. So we've got the Roxburgh Open, which is the weekend after North Island Champs. The weekend after that is the Summer Smash. The weekend after that is the Seafarer and the Topol Classic and a Midsummer's Dream. So massive weekend of disc golf last weekend of January. Weekend after that is Nationals up in Auckland, then the Bottle Lake Open, the Garden City Open, following February and March. Over the power rankings, no changes in the ladies division. Hayley Flintoff finished highest of the ladies that competed. In the men's division, Ryan Cambridge dropped 3 spots down to 10th as a result of his 3rd place overall finish in at the Confluence. So yeah, anyway, that's about it from us today. Very well done to Mikey Yu for picking up the Big Dog shirt.
I'll keep that in my car for you, Mikey, so when I run into you, I'll just hook you up.
Fantastic.
That's not your black or white. Sorry, Matt.
Excellent. Otherwise, next week, we'll actually have Ryan Cambridge on the show. So he's joining us as a guest next week. It's going to be a good chat with Ryan. He took out the MPO division at Confluence and was the best performing Kiwi at the Amateur Worlds last in July now. It's ages away. It's a good 2 months away. So we'll have Ryan on the show next week. So make sure you tune into that. But wherever you're playing disc golf, take it easy, play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
See you, team.